April 6, 2026. Ukrainian FPV drones are tracking Russian soldiers on motorcycles. Russian soldiers advancing in separate groups toward Ukrainian defensive positions in the Donetsk region have become targets of the drones one by one. Russian forces are providing soldiers with motorcycles to advance more quickly on the Ukrainian front, but you can see the attacks. Despite their speed, drones can keep up with them. Moreover, vehicles like motorcycles offer no protection against drones. They become completely exposed targets. Drones aren't just targeting soldiers on motorcycles, they're also targeting infantry units advancing on the front lines. A Ukrainian drone unit called Black Sky is attacking every moving target in the Pokrovsk region. Take a close look at the soldiers under drone attack. Once these soldiers spot the drone, they have only a few seconds. That's not enough time to react and defend themselves. All these attacks highlight a mistake or oversight on the front lines. Why are Russian forces still sending soldiers to the front lines unprotected when hundreds of soldiers are trying to fight drones every day without seeing any targets? Moreover, why are these soldiers constantly wandering aimlessly on the front lines, alone and inadequately equipped? Please share your thoughts on this in the comments. Are there really no soldiers fighting the drone? This soldier spots the drone well in advance and starts firing. Even though he hits the drone with an accurate shot at first, it doesn't go down. The drone operator moves while constantly maintaining the distance between himself and the soldier. The soldier keeps firing until he runs out of ammunition. Once the soldier runs out of ammunition, the drone launches an attack. The drone's next target is a lone soldier wandering through an abandoned area. Unaware of the drone tracking him, he continued walking among the ruins. When the drone launched its attack, he did not run, even though he had seen it. He does not appear to be wounded, but he also does not appear to be armed. The soldier chose not to defend himself against the attack. In Russia's Belgorod region, a hidden target is discovered. A Ukrainian FPV pilot from the Heart Brigade spots a field depot filled with anti-tank mines. These mines are critical, used to stop armored advances and control the battlefield. The drone locks in, prepares to strike, because destroying supplies like this can change everything on the front line. At first glance, you might not notice anything, but there's a soldier lying on the ground trying to hide. Despite all his efforts to hide, he couldn't escape becoming the drone's target. Another soldier in the same area becomes the drone's target. Caught in open terrain, the soldier is at a loss as to what to do and is unable to escape. This soldier, who is being secretly tracked by drones, is followed all the way to his hiding place. After it is determined that the soldier is hiding inside a container, a drone loaded with explosives is sent toward him. This soldier, targeted by drones operated by the Ukraine Magyar Birds unit, finds himself in a very precarious position. There is nowhere for him to escape, so he tries to defend himself where he stands. He attempts to fire his weapon several times, but panic causes him to make numerous mistakes. Finally, the drone crashes into the soldier at high speed. The Donbas coastal strip was placed under siege by Ukrainian forces. Although Russian forces, believing the coastal side of the front line to be safer, attempted to establish new positions there, hundreds of FPV drones carried out attacks on Russian positions and soldiers in the area. The defensive zones that Russian forces were attempting to establish to maintain their presence in the region have also been eliminated. Despite all this, Russian forces have still not been able to mount an effective defense against the drones. A new mission: inside fortified positions. The objective: send a fiber optic drone through narrow corridors and check for any presence before the assault team moves in. One of the most experienced crews is deployed. They navigate inside, carefully, precisely, clearing the path. These operations are complex and require real skill. but they save lives. Because in modern warfare, knowing what's inside means everything. So think about it. Would you send soldiers in blind or let drones take the risk first? What you're watching is a compilation of high-value strikes carried out by the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. Targets spread across Luhansk, Zaporizhzhia, and Crimea. But these aren't ordinary targets. First, a Tor air defense system worth around $25 million. Then, long-range radar systems, an S-300 radar valued at nearly $40 million. And finally, one of the most advanced systems on the battlefield, the S-400 radar, with an estimated cost of $65 million. Each of these systems plays a critical role. They detect incoming threats, track aircraft and missiles, and protect entire regions from air attacks. Without them, the sky becomes vulnerable, and that's exactly the point. These strikes aren't random. They are designed to blind air defenses and open the way for further operations. Think about the scale of this. In just one sequence, tens of millions of dollars in military assets gone. The Russians are using all their firepower to shoot down a Ukrainian drone that has launched an attack in the Novorossiysk region. The footage is from tonight. The target of this attack, carried out by Ukraine, was the Konvoy oil refinery. The facility, which has been in operation since 1958, is owned by the Lukoil Group and has an annual crude oil processing capacity of approximately 17 million tons. The refinery produces gasoline, diesel, jet fuel, bitumen, and lubricants. The refinery is a vital component of the fuel infrastructure that supplies both the civilian sector and military logistics. North of Prishaby, Donetsk region, a Ukrainian Mi-8 executes a pop-up maneuver, rising fast, firing, and dropping back down before the enemy can respond. Watch the precision. S-8 rockets released directly onto Russian troop positions. No extended exposure, no hover, in and out in seconds. This is low-altitude attack aviation in 2026. Fast, calculated, and designed to minimize the window where the helicopter is vulnerable. The same sky that drone operators dominate, pilots are still working it too, just differently. In this footage, Ukrainian drone operators are targeting Russian reconnaissance UAVs in the sky. This operation was carried out by the Ukrainian Signum Battalion, and the results are significant. Multiple Russian drones brought down mid-air. Among them, Konyaz Veshchi Oleg reconnaissance drones, along with Supercam and Zala UAVs. These are not random targets. These drones play a critical role on the battlefield. They are used to detect Ukrainian positions, track troop movements, and most importantly, guide artillery fire with precision. In other words, they don't attack directly, but they make every artillery strike far more deadly. Without them, targeting becomes slower, less accurate, and far less effective. That's why intercepting these drones matters so much. Every drone shot down means one less set of eyes in the sky, one less guided strike, and potentially lives saved on the ground. This is modern warfare, not just destroying targets, but blinding the enemy first. So think about it. Is taking out reconnaissance drones even more important than destroying strike drones? What do you think? April 6th, 2026. During the night, Ukrainian drone forces strike deep into Russian-controlled waters. The target, Novorossiysk port, one of the key naval hubs in the Black Sea. At the center of the attack, a Russian warship, the frigate Admiral Makarov, a carrier of Caliber cruise missiles, a platform capable of launching long-range strikes. But this time, it becomes the target. Ukrainian unmanned units move in. Drones approach the port. Low and fast, air defenses react. Missiles are launched from the ship itself, trying to intercept, but it's not enough. The drones get through. Impact. Fire breaks out inside the port, and at the same time, another strike, a floating drilling platform. Saivash. Hit and set ablaze. Multiple targets. One coordinated operation, planned and directed with precision. This wasn't just an attack on infrastructure. It was a direct strike on naval capability and energy assets at the same time. A message: even ports, even warships, are no longer safe. In the ongoing conflict between Ukraine and Russian forces, Ukrainian drone units continue to redefine modern warfare. Across Donetsk and multiple other regions, these unmanned aerial vehicles have targeted both military and civilian vehicles used by Russian troops, leaving destruction in their wake. Precision strikes from high-speed FPV drones have disabled armored convoys, neutralized troop transports, and destroyed supply vehicles, all while minimizing Ukrainian casualties. In urban areas, Ukrainian drones have been crucial in locating and destroying Russian military antennas set up on rooftops. These antennas, intended for communication and coordination, are neutralized before they can pose a threat, crippling the enemy's ability to organize on the battlefield. Right now on the battlefield, Ukrainian and Russian forces are locked in fierce combat along a more than 1,200-kilometer front line from Donetsk to the southeast. Over the past weeks, Ukrainian units have regained nearly 480 square kilometers of territory, recapturing multiple settlements in the Dnipropetrovsk and Zaporizhzhia regions, even as Russian troops press their spring offensive. Intense clashes continue daily, particularly around the Pokrovsk and Kostiantynivka sectors, with heavy shelling, airstrikes, and drone attacks shaping the fighting. Ukraine's forces are holding defensive lines and conducting local counterattacks, slowing Russian advances and creating momentum on key parts of the front.